Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take a look at a new plugin by the good people over at Softube. This is the Atlantis Studio Chambers. Really cool plugin. This is a plugin that's modeling the chambers of the famous Atlantis studios out in Sweden that was built in the 1950s. So we're going to take a listen to this. We're going to walk through the feature set, take a listen to some drums, acoustic guitar, and just show you what it's all about. And if you want to check it out, links will be in the description box below. Full disclosure, they gave me this plugin, Softube did, to do this review for you, but they haven't seen the video and my thoughts are my own and blah, blah, blah. You know all about that. If I don't think the plugin's any good, I'm going to tell you. And if I think it needs something that needs to be fixed, I'll tell you. And if I think it sounds good, I'll tell you. And then you know what? You could go demo it for yourself and try it for yourself. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Before we get to that, if you like what you see in the video, please hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting other videos. And if this is your first time here, or your second time here, or your third time here, go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com because I want to give you a free mixing course worth about $100. It's my gift to you just for visiting homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a way that you can get any one of my fully featured, fully fledged training courses at a heavy discount. So stick around. So let's jump on over here into the DAW, which is Studio One version 5. Here it is. Okay, good night, everybody. No, here it is. Here's Atlantis Studios. Great plugins, got a lot of features. Let's walk through it. Okay, now, how does this compare to all the other plugins that do chambers? Well, we don't know. Maybe in a follow-up video, if you let me know in the comments below, maybe I'll do a shootout between this and maybe Capitol Studios by Universal Audio, maybe the Chambers and the Sunset Sound plugin and the Fame plugin by IK Multimedia. You let me know in the comments below. But I will tell you, this particular plugin has a lot more things you can adjust and quite a bit more features to let you tailor the type of reverb that you would like, more so than some of those other plugins I just mentioned, which is really cool. And it's got a unique sound because it's this particular studio. So let's start here. This is a stereo version of this, obviously. So everything that's on the left here is duplicated on the right. So let's take a look at the left. So first thing we can do here, just so you know, is if we drag the right-hand corner, we can blow it up. So guys like me that are old and need stronger glasses than what I have can read the text. I love this. I wish every plugin company does this. More of we're doing them today. Over in the top left-hand corner, we have our pre-delay. We have a bunch of settings here that you can go ahead and do the pre-delay. Now, I'll tell you that all the different settings here, anything that's in this like grayish orange looking color that's not white, like an off-white color, these are the original settings that the way it was used more times than not in the actual studio itself. So it's kind of the original settings, kind of the recommended settings, kind of the default settings, just so you know. So they have 0 milliseconds, which is kind of the preset or kind of the default, but you can go ahead and you can adjust that here. And as you see, when I adjust the left side, it also adjusts the right side because they're in sync. Underneath that, which is a really cool feature, we have the mic distance. We'll talk about the microphones in a minute, where you can change the distance of the microphones in the room to give you more or less reverb, which is really cool. Underneath that, we have a resonance control, and the resonance control is really just a cut feature where if you have depending on the instrument that's in the chamber, if you're having a frequency that's kind of resonating too much, you can kind of find it and pull it back so it doesn't give you that unpleasant sound to you. That's kind of unique. I've never seen that before, so that's pretty cool. Over here at the top, we have the big red button, which is the one you're probably going to play with the most, which is the decay. Again, short is going to be a very short reverb, and the original is going to be super long, super big. Then we have some mechanical dampening under that. Undamped is the default setting, half damped and full damped. Next to that, we have our display here. Now, the one thing I will say that I wish maybe could be improved in another update, it would be nice when they have the mechanical dampening that you can see something change in the image of the actual chamber, just to kind of give you a feel. There must be some acoustic treatment that's placed around the room. Same thing with the mic distance. It would be nice to kind of see something happening on how far away it actually is. Again, we want to use our ears, not our eyes, but that would have been a nice little feature. At the top, we have our little image here in the center, as you can see. At the top, we have a bunch of different microphones, which are really cool. And again, this is something unique to this plugin. I don't know of any of my other chamber plugins that have this much microphone tweakability. So we have mic A here, the first microphone. You'll see in the image here, that is a Line Audio Design CM2. If we click on the second one here, we have an RCA 77DX, and you can see the polar patterns change, figure 8. And then we have a Neumann U47, which is kind of cool here. You can see that changing in the image. That's kind of nice. And then we have a dynamic microphone, which is the Electro Voice RE55. So you have 4 different mic choices, everything from ribbons. Oh, and then if you shut them all off, it's full range. And again, I'm not sure how they would do that without a microphone, but there's a way they capture it full range. And I'm not sure what that means. We'll try that out. But I would assume that most times you're going to use a microphone with the speaker in the room. We have 2 different chambers here. We have A, B, and then you can shut it off by doing that, which is cool. We'll play around with that. In the center here, we have this drive control here. We could drive the amplifier that's in the room. Okay, which is kind of cool, clean all the way. So it looks like their default setting is about 50% drive. Then we have a wet dry knob here in the center, right? Then we can link the left and right controls with this button, which is typically how I would probably use it. But if you wanted the left to have some different settings than the right, you could do that. And then you can also tempo sync the pre-delay to your DAW's temp BPM. If you have that, you can do, you know what the tempo is, you can do that as well. Everything on the right side is exactly the same that was on the left. At the bottom here, we have some other controls, which are really cool, which again, gives this plugin a little bit more full feature than maybe some of the other ones that I mentioned earlier. You can open and close this by clicking on this up here, these little icons here. Oh, no, it's this one, isn't it? No, it's not that one. Hold on. I want to show you that in a minute. How do you do that? Is it Softube? Open them. Oh, you can open the manual that way. That's kind of cool. How do you open and close this? I don't remember. Oh, okay. EQ Dynamics. There you go. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner. A couple of secrets I just showed you in a minute. But anyway, on the left-hand side, we have a low-cut, high-cut filter. We can turn the EQ on and off. Then we have a 3-band parametric EQ. We have a low shelf, a mid, and a high shelf. And we have gain knobs here that can go plus or minus. And you can see, I think it's 12 dB. You can see that at the top of the plugin here. As you turn the gain knob, you can see the value, so you see what it is. It doesn't display on the gain knob itself. It displays at the top of the plugin, which I guess is totally fine. So that's our EQ section. In the center, we have a dynamics mode, like a simple compressor, which is kind of cool. You have the amount of compression you want here, a little meter here, the release time here, and you can turn it off, or you can have a compressor, you can have a duct, or you can use it as a gate. That's interesting as well. I don't know too many chamber plugins that have that. As a matter of fact, I don't know of any, at least none that I have, from what I can remember. Then on the right side of that, we have our I/O settings here. And again, we can make this, this is a stereo input. We can make it a mono input if we'd like, if you wanted to do some kind of a mono thing. And in the output setting, you can have a mono output. You can make it all the way wide if you'd like, or anywhere in between if you want some bigger width. And then we have a left-right out balance, where I guess you can change the balance of the left and right if it's a little off. And then you could even swap the left and right signals if you want, which again, not really sure where you'd want to use that, but there may be an opportunity where maybe you get some unique sounds, or the sound coming in is a little off and you want to balance the left, right, you can do that. Again, you open and close this little bottom panel by just clicking this right here. We got a couple other little features I wanted to show you here. If you click on this little icon over here to the left, you're going to see a left input meter. And if you click the other one to the right, you'll see another right input meter, which is kind of neat. That's kind of cool. It takes up more real estate on the screen, but you can see some visual feedback if you'd like that. And then this here, it gives you the headroom and the low cut and the high cut. How does that work? This is a high headroom where you can adjust the headroom if you need it. And then you have a high pass here. You can adjust that here as well. And then you have a phase invert over here on the bottom. And again, you can just open and close that by clicking this little thing here, like so. So that's kind of the layout. Let's listen to this on a drum bus. So basically what I've done, just so you all know, is I got a drum bus, no processing whatsoever on this thing. Well, I shouldn't say no processing whatsoever. No processing on the individual tracks of the drums. Going to the bus, I threw a little API 55 or 560 EQ on there just to kind of give it a little top and bottom and pull out some of the honkiness in the mids. And then I threw a tiny bit of compression using the Slate digital compressor just so it sounds somewhat together. So here we go. And what I'll do is I have that sent to this Atlantis chambers here, right here. So that's our drums. a lot of chamber. So let's play around with some of the settings. So that's going to be a little bit too much for me for decay. So I'm going to turn down the decay here, maybe 50%. Even that's a little too much. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. And then we're just going to cycle through maybe some of the microphones in chamber A and see what we got. So let's start off here with the line audio designs. And I'm giving you a lot more chamber sound, more than I would use, just so you could hear the difference between what the microphones are doing. And then we'll kind of dial it into taste to where I think it would probably sit so it's natural sounding and not too much chamber or reverb. So here is the ribbon microphone. So 4 very different microphones. Now, this is a little bit of a dark drum kit here, so I'm going to turn up. I'm going to get a little bit of high shelf here. Let's see. Brighten up that reverb a little bit. Maybe pull out some of those mids there at around 360. Sounds a little bit nicer without so many mids in there. So now I'm going to play a little bit with the mechanical dampening. So we're undampened right now. We can go half and then full. So just by using the different mechanical dampening controls along with the decay, and then we haven't even done the mic distance, between these 3 settings, you have a ton of variation in how much reverb you want. And if I wasn't using any other reverb and this was the main kind of room sound or chamber sound for this drum kit, I would be a lot more conservative with it, like I'm trying to be now. So let's go back to the dampening. Now let's try the mic distance and play around with that and see how that kind of affects things. Now, right now it's all the way, the furthest away from the speaker. Let's see what happens when we kind of bring it closer. I kind of like this, the U47 sound. It's not as warm sounding to me. It's a little bit brighter, which I like. So there we're kind of. So the far is kind of far, so I kind of like it here. So the resonance control is really cool. Sounds kind of nice. So now let's cycle. Let's go low. Let's first use the drive here in the center, and then we'll go over to chamber B and see what the difference is. It's got a little bit of grit on it, which it should. So there's your meters there, just so you know. We'll shrink that up so it doesn't take up so much real estate. Now let's go to chamber B. We'll leave everything else the same. Let's just see what the difference is between A and B. This one seems a little bit brighter to my ear. It's not as warm sounding. So let's cycle through the microphones. We'll start off with the first one. So this could be really cool if you want to maybe not use it like a chamber, is more that you want to make it, if you have like a real home recorded drum kit or some drums that are really dry and you want to make it sound like it's in a live room, like a live drum room, this is a good way to do it. You could just be really conservative and not make it so big and wet. You give it a little bit of pre-delay. We'll also give it a little bit more depth. I'm going to kind of bring it down to where I think it ought to be. I got it up quite a bit. That's with nothing. Just maybe a little bit more. Really nice. A lot of flexibility. It sounds good. It's just tweaking it to your particular project. So that's drums. Let's try something else. Let's try, I also did, I think, an acoustic guitar, like a strummed acoustic. Go into the same instance, so we'll retweak it. So this is an acoustic. Maybe a little bit more decay. Cycle through the microphones. Pretty cool. That's half dampened. If we undampen it, and then pull the microphones a little bit closer in, So a heavy strummed acoustic, maybe we do full dampening to give it more of a tight booth kind of a sound. So it's not so reverby because it's heavily strummed as opposed to like kind of finger picked. That's more of a shorter reverb, kind of more like not quite a guitar booth. It's not that isolated, but it's not so big and washy. But again, what's cool about this, if you want to talk about what's cool and different from this compared to other chamber plugins on the market, is this has a lot more tweakability. There's a lot more things you can do. You have a wide variety of settings here. These 3 settings, mic distance, mechanical dampening, and decay. Between those 3 dials, these 4 microphones and those 2 chambers, you have, you know, every flavor of ice cream you want as far as that goes. It's, you know, pretty straightforward. Let's just do one more here. Let's just take like a lead vocal here that's not been mixed or anything. It's just a raw track here. Let's just see what we got here for a quick second, just to see what we have. A couple of phrases here just to see how this could work. We're going to send it over to our Atlantis chamber, post fader. There we go. I'm going down. Okay, so let's use a longer decay. Let's do a kind of a half dampened. Let's keep the microphones a little far and let's cycle through these microphones and see. Oh Lord, I'm going fast. This broken heart ain't gonna last. I'm going down, Lord, I'm going fast. This broken heart ain't gonna last. I'm going down, Lord, I'm going fast. Let's drive that a little more. This broken heart ain't gonna last. I'm going down, Lord, I'm going fast. Kind of like this one. This broken heart ain't gonna last. Now let's try chamber B. I'm going down, Lord, I'm going fast. A little brighter. This broken heart ain't gonna last. I'm going down, Lord, I'm going fast. This broken heart ain't gonna last. So there you go. So again, you have 2 different distinct chambers. One sounds a little bit brighter than the other, but you got the 4 microphones. And again, like I said, you have so much flexibility here. This is really cool. It'll be interesting to do. And that's what if you guys leave me some comments below, you need to let me below. If I get enough comments to say, yeah, we'd like to see a shootout between this and maybe some of the other chamber plugins, because I have some other ones by other companies and they're all great. I mean, they all sound good. It'd be interesting just to see what the differences are. Off the top of my head, I can tell you what I really like about this one. Not that I don't like the other ones. The other ones are great. But what I like about this one is the amount of tweakability. The other ones are a little more limited. You kind of get your sound and that's kind of it. And maybe there's a couple of parameters that you can tweak, but you don't get a lot of choices, but the choices they give you sound really good. Here, you could kind of make it sound like anything you want. And then we didn't even get into the whole thing with the compressor and the dynamics and such. And, you know, it's just, there's a lot of stuff here, which is really cool. So I think this is worth at least checking out for yourself. You could click the link in the description box. You could go demo it, I think for 14 days. And if you like it, you can pick it up. Again, I don't get any commissions or anything, whether you buy it or not. I just think it's something that you may want to check out. If you don't have a really good chamber or room reverb, a reverb plugin like this, this is a good one to have. This may be all you need. You may not need any other because of all the tweakability, as I mentioned. So check it out. It's something that you may really want to take a look at. I think it's really good. It sounds really good. And I'd be interested to do some more work with it myself. So I want to thank you so much for checking out Softube's Atlantis Studios chamber plugin. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to give you something else to help you with your training in your home studio. So first, make sure you go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and get your free mixing course. Again, it's a $100 mixing course. It's perfect for beginners. It doesn't matter what DAW you're using. We're using only stock plugins. With any DAW that you have, that mixing course will help you. If you like my style of teaching and you want to take on some of my other paid training courses, which are much more in depth, and I have everything from EQ compression, parallel compression, mixing, mastering, recording, everything from beginners all the way up through an advanced master class and everything in between. If you want to check out any of those paid training courses, I want to give you a 25% discount. Just use the coupon code YouTube25. That will take 25% off any training course on the website. And until the next video, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all soon. Take care, everybody.